Yes, use the tripod. Okay, had to get set up there. Peace and love, YouTube. It's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. And a beautiful day begins with a beautiful mindset. Today's Sunday, and Sundays are one of my favorite days. To me, Sundays are the perfect reset button. It's the end of the weekend, it's the start of the week. It's just a clean slate. I love Sundays. So I'm out here on the mat. I did a little yoga earlier. I meditated. I just finished eating some food. Like the bowl is right there. Reading a little book. I'm also live on TikTok. I got them on the tripod and I have you guys on the iPad. So just decided to come on and share some of my love, my light, and my grace with you and wish you a beautiful day. Mel, is there anything you want to say? You gonna let me clean your face? Let's see. He's got this little sleepy in his eye. Come here. I got it. Okay. I just got this kitten about a little less than a month ago. He's sweet. He really is. I named him Mel because he's showing out. I named him Mel because he was so mellow when I first got him. But once he got acclimated and got settled in, he wasn't mellow anymore. So now I call him Mel for melanin, you know. But he's sweet. Do, 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 do. Say hi. He's really sweet and he's really precious. Oh, do you see yourself? He's all in the camera. Hi, Toby. Yes, I know. I was showing off the cat and not showing off you. Look at his little elbow, Joe. I think Toby's like 15, but he's got a lot of puppy energy. And he's been playing with the kitten since he arrived, which I like. They like each other. They're playing now. So really, it's just a chill Sunday, a smooth Sunday, a slow rising, which I love. I was able to just wake up at my own pace, move into the day. Nothing really demanding, nowhere I had to be or anything I had to do, which I love. I love my days to be like that anyway, flowing. Today, okay, so this is why I wanted to come on YouTube. So this month, and I'm sharing with you as well, TikTok. This month, every month, I choose a theme for my month, a theme to set the tone and the pace for the month ahead. So September was show up and show out September. October was optimal October. This month is no fear November. And when we think about fear, I feel like oftentimes we think about, okay, let me say it this way. There's two types of fear. There's true fear and there's false fear. True fear is when your life is being threatened. You're in a life-threatening situation. That's true fear. That is adrenaline, that is survival, that is instinctual, that is true fear. And then you have false fear, which is what most of us deal with, which is fear that is created by the mind, in the mind, that is not actually creating a tangible threat. Following me so far? So I've heard it a few different ways. Fear is either false evidence appearing real, or it's face everything and rise. We get to decide. Everyone gets to interact with their fear in a different way. And I won't even say their fear because it's not yours. Everyone gets to react, respond, interact with fear, just like any emotion, however they choose to. What I've learned is, or what I've noticed, not just from myself, but from witnessing in other people as well, that fear is often disabling. It often disables you from doing anything because you've perceived that this fear is an option, it's a possibility, but it's not reality. Just consider how many times in your life have you allowed fear to stop you from doing something, from saying something, from going somewhere, from trying How many times have you allowed fear to stop you from trying? Trying. Trying is an attempt. So many of us allow fear to stop us from even attempting something because we're afraid of the possibility of failure. And so that's what I realized. Most people now are just afraid of failure. They're not really afraid for their life being threatened, they're afraid of being judged, afraid of being not accepted, afraid of being seen as human, as an earthling. So, with this month for me being No Fear November, what that means for me is one, acknowledging the fear, not acting like it's not there, even though it is in the background and the foreshadow of everything that I'm feeling and thinking. And I'm not going to say everything, but of the things that fear is present, be willing to acknowledge its presence. Because, first, we cannot fix anything that we're unwilling to face. You can't overcome something that you're not willing to address or acknowledge in any capacity, right? You can't heal until you've admitted or acknowledged that you're sick, right? You can't get better at something until you've acknowledged that where you are is not necessarily where you would like to be. You have to choose to face the discomfort of the true reality so that you may move forward. And so that's what I've been encouraging myself to do this month, No Fear November. I've been giving myself permission to, one, acknowledge the fear, and then two, so acknowledging it to me, face it, face the fear. That's one thing. And then two, move through it. Move through fear. Don't allow it to stop me. Don't try to get around it or away from it. Move through it. What happens when I face my fear and am willing to move through it? I show myself that fear doesn't have power over me. I show myself that I can do hard things with grace. I show myself that just because I've not done something before doesn't mean I'm unqualified to do it now. And I think so often we don't realize how much we are our biggest critic. We're our own worst enemy, so to speak. But we also have the potential to be our own best friend. We also have the potential to be our biggest and best source of support. It's a choice. It's a choice. So for me, No Fear November, I really have been presented almost every day of this month with an opportunity to face fears in my own life. And I mean small things like, am I willing to speak my truth when someone says or does something that doesn't resonate well with me? Fear doesn't have to be something big and grandiose. Fear can be in the small moments like, oh, how are they going to feel if I say, or what are they going to, first of all, realizing that that's not my control. And I'm not doing it for the results. I'm doing it for the experience. And I think sometimes we forget and we become so consumed and consumed with results and the destination that we forget life is about the journey. Life is about the journey. Life's about the journey. Ain't that right, Mel? Ain't that right, Toby? You are shedding, right? Okay, yes, you're right. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, get down. Go, 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 go. Take Mel with you. Go, go. They're like little kids. So I brought that up though about this month being No Fear November because today I was presented with an opportunity to face yet another fear. Something I've been anticipating about a week or so. And long story short, I had someone reach out to me that was a part of my life in previous chapters about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. This person and I when things ended between us, there wasn't any closure, there was no reconciliation, there was no communication. It just was abrupt because, you know, life be life. And it was a very I don't want to say it was catastrophic, but it was life shifting. Like when the rug gets snatched from under you, how you don't have time to brace yourself, everything just, it was like that. It was a tower moment. Stuff just it was. So anyway, over the past few years, I have been actively on my healing journey. I have been actively practicing self-care and self-love, because the way that you care for yourself is directly connected to how you love yourself. Let me say that again. The ways in which you care for yourself is directly reflective of the way that you love yourself, how much you love yourself. And so a lot of the times we don't realize that we are lacking proper self-care. We are lacking proper self-love. And so anything that we're experiencing outside of us is just revealing what's happening within us. So with this particular person, them being unable or unwilling to show up for me in the ways that I needed to be able to, whatever it is that I was lacking or felt that I was lacking, me feeling betrayed or abandoned by this person or hurt by them, I had to realize they hadn't done that to me more than I had already done that to myself. That's a hard truth to face. That's something that will keep, most people are afraid of facing themselves. And so it's easier for them to be like, no, you said that. No, you did that. No, it's your fault. If you would have just been other than who you were, it would have made me feel better. We can't control what other people do. We can't control how other people choose to show up. We can only control, and I won't even say control. The only thing that's in our control is how we choose to manage our responses, manage our interactions with others, and interactions with self, right? So, anyway, this conversation I was supposed to have today, and I say supposed to because it didn't happen. This person reached out to me out of the blue last week, and originally I was like, it was a message, and I just was like, we haven't spoken in years. And I know that it's God because I've been praying for forgiveness. I've been praying and forgiving myself. I've been praying and asking God to forgive me in the ways that I fall short of being the best version of myself and how that affects the lives of others. I've been just getting more in tune with myself. And when I say God, you can think of it as the Most High. You could think of it as, I think of God as the part of yourself that knows and wants what's best for you. Just like I think the devil is the part of you that is at its lowest. It's you and you. That's all. It's nothing outside of you. It's all inward. And our life becomes a reflection of what's going in. So if you're living in hell, that lets you know what's going on within you. Just as if you're living in heaven, that's a reflection of what's going on within you. So over these past few years, I've really been cultivating a heaven for myself, a peaceful and pleasant place to live, no pun intended, for me. So that no matter what comes and no matter what goes, I will still be okay. All is well. Trusting that what's next is best. Nothing that has been is better than what will be. But it also teaches me to take time in the present moment to really acknowledge and savor things as they are, because things won't always be as they are right now. And sometimes we're trying to rush to get to the next place that we don't realize perhaps you're in the midst of an answered prayer right now. Perhaps you're in the midst of a lesson that you need to learn in order to receive the blessing that is ahead. Perhaps if you invited yourself to let go of what you think that you want and focus more on what you need, you'll realize everything is aligning as it should. Isn't that right, Mel? Everything is aligning as it should. Everything serves a purpose. Life is not happening to you, life is happening through you. Life is happening for you. Think about it. You've made it through 100% of your worst days. Yes, you have overcome everything that seemed as if it was sent to deter you, to break you down, to make you less than. It refined you. It has helped you. It has taught you. You have grown from it. Thus, it has blessed you. It has been a benefiting factor in your life and of your journey. How good would a story be if it didn't have chapters with pages that told a story? If it was just the front and the back, the beginning and the end. What makes a story is everything that is happening between, right? Isn't that right now? Yes, Toby. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. Get down. Go. 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 You're all on the camera, man. Go. Thank you. Go. Okay. You want your cat. Huh. Take your baby and go. I call him his baby because they took to each other really well. So I'm grateful for that. So anywho, let me go back. I feel like I've been rambling a little bit. So this conversation I was supposed to be had. So this person reached out to me. As soon as they reached out to me, all the feelings that I hadn't really acknowledged or didn't have to acknowledge came up immediately. Immediately. And that led me to last week's lesson. Just because just because it's in the past doesn't mean you're past it. Shall I say that again? Just because it passed doesn't mean you're past it. Just because it's in the past doesn't mean that you're past it. And sometimes you don't realize, you don't know until you know. Like the wise people say, when you know, you know. It's true. So when you take the time to acknowledge and be honest with what you're feeling, it makes it easier to face your fear or your sadness or your anger or your grief. Most people don't realize they spend so much time and energy trying to deflect what they're feeling that they're willing to go to any extent just to avoid what they're feeling, which if they just took the moments to acknowledge that uncomfortable feeling, that it would lead to a lasting growth, a lasting and a better result. But most people, they will do everything in their power to avoid because it's uncomfortable. And because that means that they would have to face themselves. And then ultimately, if they have to face themselves, that means that they would have to choose to change and do something different. Because then realizing, oh, these results are a reflection of my choices. And if I want different results, I have to make different choices. But maybe I don't want to make different choices. I don't want to be the one to change. I want everything else to change and everybody else to change. Then you're going to continue to be in this cycle. This is the thing. When you can tell when someone is evolved and when someone is unevolved. When someone is unevolved, they're on a hamster wheel. They're on a hamster wheel. They can't get off. It's just the same. I don't know why this keeps happening. I keep the same people, the same stuff, the same. They always have the same narrative, the same story, the same experience with different people at different times in their life. Why? Because they've not yet learned that this that I'm going through is here to teach me something. And when I am open and ready to learn what the lesson is, only then will I be able to go from this on one level to start to do this, a spiral and ascend. Because now you're not going to stop having lessons and experiences. You're going to come back to the same things over and over again because the basics, just like we walk and talk and eat and pee and poop every day, the basics. Just because you walked and talked and ate and pooped and slept yesterday, don't you got to do it again today? Don't you have to do it again tomorrow? Don't you have to do it again the day after that? Yes, the basics. Life is going to continue to give us the same basics with an opportunity to see it from a different perspective, a higher perspective. That is how you know when someone is evolved or not, based on how they choose to see and narrate their experiences. So, just some food for thought. um, as I go backwards, I feel like I'm going back and forth, but hopefully this all makes sense. So once all these things came up, I really had to face myself and all the emotions that came up, and realized there was still things that were just in me that I hadn't expressed. And that's what leads to depression. When things are deeply rested, depressed, phonetically depressed, deep rest, depressed, something is deeply rested in you. The best way to release it is to express it. The opposite of depression is expression. Give it somewhere to live that is not in your body. So many of us are swallowing poison, swallowing anger, resentment, guilt, shame, wondering why we are ill, sick, diseased. Our body is always communicating with us. And if you realize that whenever something immediately happens, there are two voices you're going to hear. One is going to be from your head, the other is going to be from your heart. One is going to be from your higher self, your true self, and the other is going to be from the part of you that thinks it knows what's best. One voice is usually louder, and to me, it's the one that you listen to that you hear the most clearly. As someone who at one point was very negative inward, I had a very high inner critic. That's what I used to hear most. But now I hear support, and I hear love, and I hear forgiveness, and I hear acceptance, and I hear understanding and compassion and empathy. That's because that's what I've worked to cultivate. People are like, oh, well, I'm not like you. I can't do this, 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 this. I wasn't like me at one point in time. I chose this. I've chosen this version of myself. I've chosen these values and these qualities, and I've chosen to learn and unlearn. I've chosen to heal. I've chosen to grow. These things didn't just happen. My life circumstances could have shaped me in any other way. Are you going to sleep? Are you listening to me? He's knocked out. That is so cute. So once all these emotions came up and I'm acknowledging and creating space for it, it's like I needed to purge. It's like I needed to cleanse. Once I've acknowledged it, okay, now what? How do I let this out? Cry, journal, write about it, talk about it, express it, get it out. So this person shared some things with me, kind of just in hindsight. Hey, over the past few years, this is this, and this is this, and this is this. And I'm like, okay. I'm asking God, what do I do with this? What's wrong? I'm asking God, what do I do with this? And that's really what I've been practicing more is surrender, letting go of control and moving from the mind, moving from the ego, moving what I think and what I want and how I feel, which is all based in the world. You understand? This body it came from the world. What's in the body came from God. So I need to be consulting that, my spiritual self, my higher self. What do I do with this, guy? I'm feeling real confused. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how I feel. I didn't realize I was feeling all these ways, and it's just communing with that part of myself that knows and wants what's best. And I feel like God keeps telling me slowness is sweetness. You don't have to respond to anything right away. You don't have to move quickly. You don't have to be quick to make a decision. Slowness is sweetness. Take your time. Sit with it. Savor it. How do you feel? Acknowledge it. Really, it's like if I got a scoop of ice cream, I'm going to eat that scoop of ice cream. It's like, am I already rushing past this scoop to get to the next scoop of ice cream? Or whatever's on my plate or on my spoon. Something got in my eye. Or can I just savor each bite, each moment, each spoonful as if this is the last? So for me, this past week has been an opportunity for me to see that the work that I've been doing and putting forth, it was an opportunity for me to really put it in practice to see if it's actually worked. I forgave this person long before they apologized. And even if they would have never apologized, I still already forgave them, because me not forgiving them is me not forgiving me. Me withdrawing or withholding love, forgiveness, appreciation for someone else is just a reflection that that's how I am with myself. I love myself. I accept myself. I forgive myself. I support myself. So it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to extend that to others. God extends compassion and grace and understanding to me. Every day that I'm gifted is a gift. Why would I use this gift to be selfish and to be self-centered and self-driven, self-motivated, especially if it's not pleasing to God and to what's best for the whole? What if one tree decided, yeah, I don't really feel like photosynthesizing today and giving off oxygen? And imagine if the sun was like, actually, yeah, no, I don't really feel like rising today. I don't really feel like providing y'all with what you need. Oh, it's starting to rain. Imagine if the rain was like, actually, we on strike. No rain for y'all. Everything of nature is to be of service to the greater good. And then here we are as humans. Yeah, always thinking about how we feel and what we want and what we think and think we're so smart. Intelligence and wisdom are two different things. This is a season for me to express and experience my wisdom. So it's been an opportunity for me to put, oh, there was a spider there. Put the things that I've learned into practice. So, like I was saying, I had already forgiven this person. Even if they would have never apologized, I'd already forgiven them. This was an opportunity for me to see if my forgiveness had forgiven, if that makes sense. It's like step one was forgiving, and that's hard. It's hard to forgive someone who's not apologetic or sorry. It's hard to forgive when you haven't gotten the closure that you feel that you need or would like. And God has just been revealing so much to me through this situation. First and foremost, closure comes from God. Closure, clarity, peace, all the things that are truly valuable only come from God, not from people. And so me waiting to receive an apology from someone else to offer them forgiveness would be like me waiting to breathe until someone brought me oxygen. The oxygen is already here. All I got to do is breathe in, even if they took my breath away. Does that make sense? I know that was a weird analogy, but I don't know. It just started sprinkling and then it went just that fast. So I guess I'll hang out a little bit more. But pretty much, this has just been an opportunity for me to integrate forgiveness and embody that on a deeper level, to be even more graceful than I've been with myself and with others. And honestly, forgiveness is one of the highest expressions of love. To love is to forgive. It's easy to be mad at someone when they don't meet you where you would like to be met, but it's harder to be understanding and compassionate when someone doesn't meet you where you desire to be met. It's easy to be angry. It's easy to be mad. It's easy to take things personally. It's not easy to be compassionate. It's not easy to be understanding. It's not easy to be loving, to be peaceful, to be patient. So, again, I've been presented with the opportunity to evolve even beyond where I've been, to do things that I've never done before, in ways that I've never done before. I'm getting to meet myself through a new lens. So me showing up to, so this person was reaching out, I was like, I would just like to have a conversation, et cetera, et cetera. I responded. I'm like, hey, this is definitely catching me off guard, but also I'm open. I'm open to having a conversation. A couple weeks ago, y'all, I had just told that to one of my best friends. I was like, yeah, if this person was to ever come back in my life and wanted to talk, I would have a conversation with them. I would listen. I would have some things that I would want to. I'd be open to a conversation. A couple weeks later, this person reached out to me. It's been years, but I literally had to get to the point in myself where God knew that I wasn't just saying what I was saying, but I meant it. And I'm at the point now where I'm really meaning, not just, oh, I forgive you. No, I truly forgive you because I truly forgive myself. Hurt people hurt people. I'm going to hold against you how you treated me when that's just a reflection of how you treat yourself. I'm not special. You're not doing it to me because it's me. You're doing that to me because that's where you are on your journey, which doesn't mean that's where you'll always be. I can look back 10 years ago and see where I showed up in situations that I would show up completely different in now. And that's the point. That's the point. Again, the spiral. Are you going in a circle or are you spiraling? Are you cycling? Seeing from a higher perspective, from a bird's eye view. That is what it is to be of a higher consciousness, to see things from a higher perspective, a higher lens, which means you had to go through all the levels prior to. People just want to go from the bottom to the top instead of realizing, baby, you got to take the stairs. There's no elevator, there's no escalator. You got to take the stairs, you got to trek, you got to put the effort in. Only then will you be spiritually approved. Many are called, few are chosen. A lot of us are being called to be better than we are. A lot of us are being called to rise, to evolve, to shift. A lot of us don't want to answer the call. We're afraid to let go of control. We're afraid of the outcome. We're afraid that somehow this is the best that it will ever be right here, right now. Toby, thank you. But when you realize that God has never removed anything from your life without replacing it with something better. Even if there was some time and space between you receiving that, that's necessary. That time and space between where you've been and where you're going is necessary. That's called the meantime. What are you doing in the meantime? Are you just chilling with your feet kicked up, like, oh, yeah, I'm good, just hanging out, waiting for the next thing to come through? Or are you putting in work and effort? Are you aligning? Are you healing? Are you growing? Are you going back and studying your past chapters? You know what? I was like this. I could have done this different. I could have been a better version of myself. Not keep going back and reading your narrative and, well, they did this and they did this. It's been 5 years already. Are you still telling that story in the same way? What, how does that make you feel when you tell the story? Does it make you feel better about yourself? Does it make you feel like a victim? Does it make you feel like, how do you feel when you're saying what you're saying? When you're doing what you're doing? Not just because you feel justified. The ego likes to be right. Do you want to be right or do you want to be righteous? You want to be right or you want to have peace? Do you want to be right or do you want to have a calm mind and a clean heart? Choice is yours. We're always, every day, life presents opportunities in the form of choices. We always get to choose. We always get to choose. We always get to choose. So, in this instance, I know I feel like it's a long story time, and I rarely do. Oh, 33. I rarely do story time. So, anywho, this person, I was like, yeah, I'm open to having a conversation. And they're like, okay, great. Well, I'm trying to decide if I want to share as much as that. They're like, oh, okay, well, let's do it on this day at this time. Okay, perfect. I sent a Zoom link because I just, we can chat on Zoom, right? If we started communicating through social media, I don't feel like there's a need for us to exchange numbers. We're not like friendly like that. I'm just open to hearing what you have to say. So send a Zoom link. All right, cool. See you then. That was about a week ago. Today I knew it was happening, knew it was coming because it's been in my energy, it's been in my spirit. So I get up, I'm all right, today's the day. Let me move through, practice my yoga, practice my meditation, say my prayer, get myself ready, get myself dressed, log on, made myself some tea, log on. A couple minutes pass, this person's not on. I'm like, okay. I go to our messages. This person messaged me. He's like, hey, I apologize. Something, I got unexpectedly busy. Okay. So then I immediately felt I immediately felt, because I'm really trying to be aware of what I'm feeling at any given moment. I immediately felt disappointed. And because I felt disappointed, that let me know what the prior feeling was. Disappointment is a reflection of expectation. Even though this person told me we'll be here this time, this place and this time, and I was looking forward to looking towards it, anticipating it, when it didn't happen, it automatically allowed me to feel disappointed. Okay. But then it's also me realizing even that is me putting thought into the person or effort, belief into the person rather than the experience, than into God. So I asked God, I'm like, all right, I feel this way. I felt tense in my body. I felt like just all these different things, just all these different things, to be honest. And I'm like, you know what? Slowness is sweetness. Let me not be slow. Let me not be quick to anger. Let me not be quick to judgment. Let me not be quick to say or do anything. Let me just sit with it. Let me just sit with the discomfort just for a little bit. It's not the worst thing. And the more you do it, the better you get. The more you do anything, the better you get. So after a little while, I came outside. I got some fresh air and yada yada yada. And then I just felt guided to share. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna send this person a message. I wanted to send a voice note because, again, I like real time. I don't want to have to think about what I need to say and how it's gonna come out. Voice note just allows me to express it. But I don't think you can do that through TikTok Messenger. So then I just went to my notepad and I just talked out how I was feeling. I actually feel like I want to share what I wrote with y'all. Do y'all want to hear it? I'm going to share because I feel like it goes with the story time. So let me just. I'm going to check the comments in just a moment on both. I know I've been so in what I'm doing. Let's see, where is it? All right, so I'm going to share it with y'all. I could contemplate many things regarding you reaching out, the experiences leading up to, and other factors. But the truth is, I already know. Exactly. The answer is God. The timing and alignment are 100% divine. There are slim to none odds that we both have arrived at this very point in time and space. You being open and willing to extend an olive branch in all that it has required, and me being open and receptive to receiving that olive branch in all that it has required. Whether or not you ever chose to apologize, I'd already forgiven you. But first, I had to forgive myself, which has been a worthwhile journey I'm certain you can relate to. Today, I showed up, not just to meet with you, but also to meet with the past version of myself. Today, I honored what was whilst remaining hopeful of what could be. I believe it was meant for you to not show up today. It allowed me to realize an undeniable truth. Closure comes from God. That within itself is closure enough for me. I pray that it may be for you as well. Today, a memorial service was held for our shared past. I'm grateful for all that I've gained, learned, and overcome. May you find it in your heart to forgive me in all the ways I was unable to reciprocate or reflect your true value. I want you to know that I've always wanted what was best for you, even if it didn't include me. With this truth expressed, this is my final communication. I release you with love and grace. And after I wrote that, and then I went back and read it out loud and I heard it. So it's one thing to say it, it's one thing to write it, but then it's another thing to receive it. After I said it and then heard it, that was the closure. Perhaps the conversation was never supposed to happen. Perhaps we were only supposed to get as far as reaching out and extending the olive branch and reaching out and accepting it, and that within itself is the closing. Never before, never have I ever closed a chapter with as much love and grace as that, as this, as what I'm showing myself now. So, life is a practice. You're not supposed to master it. You're not going to wake up and be like, oh, I mastered life. I'm good. There's nothing I need to learn. There's no areas I need to grow in. There's nothing I need to forgive. There's nothing I can be better at. No, life is a daily practice. Every day we get an opportunity to practice living and to practice living better than previously. Because anything that's not growing, let's just say God doesn't create anything that isn't growing or doesn't contribute to the whole. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. So yeah, that's it. Oh wow, YouTube. I've been on here for 41 minutes. Let's see, TikTok, we've been on here for 58 minutes. It's starting to sprinkle again. Let's see what our comments are on YouTube. Oh, I think I need to go in the house, y'all. I don't know how I can get to the comments on. Ah, there they are. Can y'all hear the rain? Excuse me. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Let me see what y'all got been saying over here. Thank you so much. I'm glad it resonates. Hey, Big Mike. Hey, Malcolm. Thanks so much. Hey, Maria Lynn. Thank you for the follow. Hi, Solomon. Thank you. Bring you all up a little bit. And I was just chatting. Hey, Kenny. Hi, Malcolm. Hey, Brad. Just Brad. Thank you. Hi, Roland. Thank y'all. Oh, it's coming. It's raining down harder a little bit. Christ consciousness is living with him in eternity right now. And that's the thing. Christ is a consciousness. You might be the only Christ that somebody meets in this lifetime. I like this angle. We should have started here. Oh, okay. I'll start to sprinkle now. I gotta go. Sugar melts when it gets wet, baby. Ah! Okay, YouTube. I'll check y'all later. Have a most beautiful day. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, join the Live So Graceful tribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss me. Toodles! Thanks for joining my first story time.